I'll probably just wake you up real quick. My children were murdered in January from an abusive father. Both of my children were shot 4 times in the face. This bill wouldn't have protected them, and even though this bill wasn't in play, all my evidence of the abuse to my children was sent to a guardian ad litem, and guess what didn't happen? Everything was dismissed. Police records, hospital records, photographs, everything was submitted to a guardian ad litem, and nothing, absolutely nothing for my children was brought to justice. Nobody was there to protect them. Every lawyer I spoke to stood behind a guardian ad litem and said, he wasn't the same person anymore. But on January 24th, when I went to pick up my children were not here anymore. This bill isn't going to do anything except cause more of this. There's no 50-50. My husband had 50-50. He had a 2-2-3 schedule. We had a first right of refusal, so those babies came to me when he couldn't keep them and vice versa. I spent 22 years in an abusive marriage where I tried to get out. Every time I tried to get out, people like him convince you it's okay to come back and they're going to change. He had 2 bouts of alcohol recovery. His alcohol level was 0.383 when he murdered my children. What did that guardian ad litem do for my children? She didn't hear me out. There was nobody that was going to be on my side to help me protect my children, and this bill's not going to help any mother that's in my situation either. My daughter was 10 and my son was 13. They had no way to protect themselves. And I don't know if my daughter saw my son get murdered. I don't know. But there's no place where this bill is going to fit in where it's going to protect anybody. Because moms like me, it's going to make it a lot harder because I had all the evidence and it meant nothing. It got thrown out because it was old or I went back. So it meant nothing. And this bill's going to make it even harder for someone like me to try and protect their children. Because these things happen behind closed doors. These things don't happen at the grocery store. They don't happen at your parents' house, or they don't happen when you're out to dinner. It's something you did while you're at dinner that sets them off, and then when you get home, behind closed doors, it's you and your children who pay the price. And it doesn't matter how many times you call the police, how many times you have begged and pleaded for someone to hear you. I called victim witness the Thursday before my children were killed. And I got, you don't have enough, what do you want us to do? Your messages aren't threatening. Guardian ad litems need to be psychologists that can see through the psychological issues with people like this. Not somebody who's trained by a book that says, this is what the state says we have to do, so this is what we're gonna go by. That's not fair. My children aren't even here anymore because this whole system failed, and this bill isn't even in play yet. Do you have children?
I do.
Where would you be in my shoes right now? Would you be fighting for this? For someone to keep your children safe?
I understand.
I've heard every testimony here today. Not one is in comparison to what has happened to my children. There's been a lot of hurt in this room. It fumes me to hear you guys question, well, what if, what if, what if? There's no what ifs when you're playing games like this. This is serious. This isn't just a case. It's case by case. There's no 50-50 down the rip, and that's perfect. My husband had 50-50, and still, it didn't matter what I did. I couldn't get any more than that. And I filed for full custody of my children. I was a stay-at-home mother from the time they were born until I decided to go to work 2 years ago. Nothing was there to protect them, and this bill is not going to protect other children.